Good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Soccer Night, ILFL Soccer Night. We are on NTV, the Asian Viewers TV Award 2015 Best Asian Channel 2015 winners, NTV. First and foremost, we'd like to congratulate NTV for allowing us to be on their show, and they are one of the best right now. So big congratulations, first and foremost, goes to NTV, and for having us, we're very honoured, ILFL. On to football matters, and I think us football, we're hoping we played a role towards them winning that award, but we've got so much to talk about. No videos today, but I have, on my right, I have two legends with me. Oh, yet to call themselves legends, so I'll call them veterans. I've got FC Redbridge here. On my left today, I have Mr. Nanumia, our stats man, as David likes to refer to. And on the far side, I have Tim Evans from Fish Island. So welcome to my gentlemen, and welcome to you. So how did the football get on this Sunday? Well, we've got an awful lot to talk about. I think if we look at the results, we'll see all of that. In the second segment, we're going to be talking about the Vets League. And these gentlemen on my right will get more involved and tell us how they're getting on, give us their views and opinions on their title chances and promotion, look at the first division, see if that's all been won and out of the way. And then final segment of the show, gents, we have the League Cup draw, 2015-2016 League Cup draw. It's the preliminary round. There's only 4 teams that are waiting in the first round of the Cup. So this preliminary round, we have 24 teams to be picked out of the hat to go head-to-head to see who are the 12 that are going to join the other 4 for the first round of the League Cup. So an awful lot to go through. No doubt you want to hear from the gentlemen around me and not so much from me. So let me start with the results from today. Oh, actually, there's one thing I should add, and probably with a heavy heart and our heads down. As you know, one of our pundits and the ILFL League Secretary, Rashid Ali, he lost his mother over the weekend. So, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To the Lord we belong, and to him we shall return. We wish the best to Rashid and his family, and we pray that they have the moment is made easy for them. For the footballing world that knows Rash and have always found him a point of call, we request if for the next at least month or so, if Rash can be given a bit of time. And if you have any inquiries, any questions or anything relating to the league, you're more than welcome to contact Nanu, especially on the vet side of things. Nanu's there to take inquiries, as well as on the open age. If you have any other open age queries, by all means get in touch with me. I'm on hasnat@ilfl.org, and my number is also on the website. David Joseph is also available to take any inquiries, and likewise our chairman Cam Roos is also there. So any issues or any queries that you have with the league, if we can ask that Rashid be just given a moment with his family now, and the remainder of us in the league will pick that up. Okay. I think I've covered all the basics. Let's go straight into the results from this weekend. So we had a packed weekend. Not like last week, 101 goals last week, not so many this week, probably back to normal. Let me take you over to the screens, and we can see the Premier Division results. And they look like this. Hawk and Eagle got their season up and running. First win, and it was against Bromley, 7-3. Well done to Hawk and Eagle. A lot of shock result. Table toppers at the beginning of the day reach out, had to bow to a 4-3 loss with Beaumont, and Beaumont taking them off the perch, which gave Stepney the initiative. If they was to beat a very tough Lotus team, they would go top, which they did, 2-1. And lastly, we had that West London derby. London Tigers coming out on top 3-2 against West End. That is the Premier Division for you. If I look at the First Division there, actually, if I stick on the Premier Division, and if you come back over to me, I think we need to talk about the Premier Division. Danny, first and foremost, it was no doubt, some tough fixtures there. If we start with the very bottom one, that West London derby, now that is, last year was a top table battle. Now it's a mid-table battle.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult games, especially for those both teams. You know, both teams have got a lot to prove for. You know, it's their pride in West London. That game, it would be difficult, at least to say. It can't be one of those games that will be taken lightly. I don't think that either team would have actually backed off anyhow. They would have given it full throttle. And, you know, end of the day, it was a clear winner. You know, Tigers deserve to do it. They have had a very tough start to the season. We didn't go off to a very good start, which is quite unusual for Tigers, you know. And all we say is that although it's a really long season, you can't afford to lose those first few games early on in the season. So well done to Tigers. West End, maybe, you know, got to
Well,
make some
runners up
changes
from
there.
last year. So
Runners
they've
up from
certainly-
last year. Well, this is it. You see, I mean, the landscape changes every season. Every season brings in new challenges, and it's much more difficult than the previous season. I mean, this season we've got new teams. We've got Lotus FC. We've got Reach Out. Beaumont have really strengthened. Not to mention Stepney are probably one of the strongest contenders, and they are still are champions from the previous season.
Well,
You've got
that game,
Eagle
the
coming in
Stepney
as well.
game, I really want to look at that game because we're talking about the winners of the summer Premier versus the winners of the winter
Correct,
Premier.
yeah.
So two Premiership pedigree teams, both head to head.
These are two heavyweights, and they came with one thing in mind, is to win, Lotus, we know they can bang in a lot of goals. Stepney remain really consistent. I think Lotus scored the first goal, and Stepney, I have to give it to them for coming back and scoring a goal and then consequently winning the actual game. So it was one of those games not to miss. It was one of the games to watch, a lot to learn from, and I can say for myself is that both teams must have learned a lot from each other.
Well, why don't we have a look at the table? So following those Premiership results, this is what the table looks like. We have Stepney top of the pile again after a week off there. 100% record, only conceded 2 goals, so the meanest defence in that Premier Division. Reach Out, that loss has put them in second place, but nobody's overtaken them, so they're probably quite happy with that in one degree. And then we've got Lotus there. Again, they were looking to hit top spot had they beaten Stepney, so still third within reach. Then we have Beaumont. That win actually has helped them sort of get to 4th place. And London Tigers as well, that was the first win for them, so that pushes them up to 5th. West End again, runners up in 6th place. Don't seem right, but they played 1 game less than everyone above them. And then we have Hawk and Eagle, who got their first win, but I think they're sort of learning life in the Premier Division now. And Bromley and Leytonstone yet to pick up a win. That is the Premier Division. But I mean, I think every time we talk about the Premier Division, every single name there is a heavyweight.
Every single name there is a really heavyweight, and they have a long history, a really stable organisation. You've got your top-notch management qualities in there. Everything about all the attributes in those teams, and it's that winning mentality. They've got what it takes to win, leagues like that. But unfortunately, they're all in one place. It's like having all of the best in one division, and that causes. It can get quite messy, and as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, this season there's no such thing as a runaway team, although Stepney's, 3 points ahead of the ones, 3 other teams. I don't see them just taking a lead, straight away. I don't think they will actually make the gap any bigger, because there are teams just right behind them, just behind them, and all they need is just to win and Stepney to lose, and that's it, they're back up there again.
Yeah, well, 4 games in, still they need to top up 18 games, so a long way to go. So
the season is long, the season
Premier
is hard.
Division. Yep. What we'll do, we'll probably later on we'll talk about the upcoming fixtures for the Premier League, because we need to look at all of the divisions in this first segment. So I'm going to bang through them right now. Let's take you straight over to the screen. Hence my eyes going up and down. Anyway, here we go. First division looks like this. Stepney B recording a 2-1 win against some people's early favourites, Ace. So that's a bit of a shock result. We shall talk about that. Robin Hood Tigers against their old foes, Beaumont Youth, the 2 teams that got promoted together. Robin Hood Tigers coming on top by a mere 7-0. We've got Seoul Youth back on winning ways after a loss last week. They beat Burdett 5-2. And Crusaders creeping up the table, 6-0 winners against Saya. And if I show you the table, those results make it look like this. Robin Hood Tigers sit at the top there with 3 wins and a draw, but only a point behind them is Crusaders with a 100% record and a game less played. So Robin Hood Tigers have still have got them right behind them. Seoul Youth also not too far off, also on 9 points. Only behind Robin Hood because they lost against them last week, so Seoul Youth still there as well. Stepney B, an unlikely 4th place, having seen that all those teams above them going and banging in goals, but Stepney B beating Ace and sitting there on 4th. So well done to Stepney B. Ace there playing one less game than most of them above them. However, they're on 4 points, so they want to get themselves back on winning ways. Then we have Bow on 4 points as well in 6th place. And then the bottom 3, Burdett, Saya and Beaumont, you've yet to pick up a victory, but it's all to play for there. I mean, Nanu, in the first division there, I want to first look at that Stepney B game beating Ace. Now, Ace, a lot of people's favourites. They won the first division in the summer.
Correct.
They started the season with a bang, came up against Robin Hood, who also title contenders, so a 4-all draw, and then this loss.
I know what people have to realise is that there is a huge difference between summer and winter. In summer, people like to try things out, and I'm sure Ace have probably tried a few things, a few methods here and there to make sure that they get the team ready in preparation for the winter, because that's what all teams tend to do. You play in the summer, you check out your players, make sure they're fit and proper, and then you set them loose in the winter. So it's completely different. Having tipped Ace to win, the title so early on in the season, even before touching the football, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're talking about Stephanie B here, you're talking about Robin Hood Tigers, your team there. And some of the new teams that came in are really impressive. And look at Crusaders. I mean, how many goals have they scored? I mean, it's amazing. 6 goals and going past Sire.
Well, I should give you that stat. Crusaders in the whole of ILFL have the meanest defence to date.
Wow, that's
only
that's
considered
huge.
1 goal.
Only 1 goal.
And they've scored 25.
Well, it looks like they've got it all sussed out, having conceded only 1 goal, scoring 25 goals, it says a lot about that team. It's not just the defence and the strikers, it's the midfield that's doing it as well. And everyone in that team, you can see, they are playing their part.
I mean, the first division, just looking at sort of people in title contention, Robin Hood Tigers obviously sitting there on top. They've always had a leaky defence, but they've scored 24 goals. And right behind them, Crusaders played 1 game less, but have scored 25 goals. And then we have Seoul Youth, who have quietly, I mean, they've only lost to Robin Hood, but otherwise they maintain the rest of the games at 100%. So you've certainly got a few challenging there. I mean, is there any more that we can throw in the fold, or maybe you want to talk about them?
It's Seoul, Stephanie B, Ace. They're still in it. It's too early on in the season to actually rule them out. Whereas Robin Hood Tigers and Crusaders, they look like really strong contenders. Robin Hood, I know they have a very good start to the season. It's right at the end that Robin Hood seem to falter. It's one of those teams that almost win it and then they don't. So let's just hope that it doesn't become another season like that for them, and they keep going and they go to the last minute. Because if you won your 19th game and then on the 20th game you realize it's okay, then you're not going to win it. It's that tight. It's just like 1 or 2 points makes the whole difference. You may have worked hard, ever so hard throughout the season, whole of these 9 months, and right at the end you lose that game because you couldn't be bothered.
And let me get onto the first division before we've got to hit a break. So quickly up on the screens, I'm going to go through the first division results. Here they are. Walthamstow Red Star winning 5-0 against Fish Island. West End Reserve 7-3 winners against PYO. Then we have Redcoat winning 9-2 against Arsenal. We have AMY getting a 4-3 victory against St Catherine's. That was 4th against 2nd, as we discussed last week. And then the bottom fixture there, we've got Tower Hamlets winning 5-3 against Riverside. And the table looks like this. Walthamstow Red Star holding a 100% record there, sitting quite pretty at the top with a 4-point gap. Second place, we've got AMY. On 8 points. That victory helped them leapfrog from 4th to 2nd. Redcoat in 3rd place with that impressive victory against Arsenal, and St Catherine's in 4th place. And then we go down the table, we have Tower Hamlets in 5th, PYO early tipped favourites for David, but seems like they're in 6th at the moment. West End Reserve in 7th, Arsenal there in 8th place, and then we have Riverside and Fish Island to pick up victories, yet to pick up victories, but we've seen some impressive stuff, and this is probably the moment I'd take to introduce Tim. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are the manager of Fish Island.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay.
So, I was going to say, first of all, thank you for welcoming me to the show. It's great to meet everyone, and it's great to introduce Fish Island as well. So.
Well, we always love having the new teams on the show, and probably we look at the 2nd division as the play for fun teams as well, and those teams that are really looking at the community aspect. So I mean, we have to ask about Fish Island now. I've taken the privilege of having you on the show because I know David has been dying to see you guys. But tell us a bit about Fish Island. I mean, what are you guys, a group of friends together?
Well, look, first thing I might show you is what our kit looks like, because it might explain some of the things behind Fish Island and where we've come from.
By all means, go ahead, please. I think I saw these kits beforehand and I thought, you know what, let's get everyone to have a look. So, yeah. I'll leave that to you. Introduce the kit.
So really, this is our home kit for this year. Correll's Real Estate is our sponsor. So
Brilliant.
Without them, we obviously wouldn't have been able to produce a bespoke kit. And it really gives something a bit different. Hackney Wick, where Fish Island is based, is all about sort of creativity, community, and we really wanted to reflect that. So as you can see, we've got our scales and quite a bespoke kit.
Not bad, not bad.
So I'll spin it round just to show you the back, and probably see. So
Tim, I want you to hold on to those tops because we're going to go for a quick little break. So don't go away after the break. We've got Tim another kit to show you guys. Won't be too long, and we've got still these legends next to me to speak to. So a few minutes, and we'll see you guys then.